Well, these guys just keep exposing themselves every single day. The Duffer Brothers are currently in a non-stop humiliation ritual ever since the ending of Stranger Things Season 5. And it seems to be getting worse and worse. The fanbase already created a secret finale for the show that was probably better than the ones that the Duffer Brothers wrote. And some of these guys still believe Conformity Gate is real and will come true in the summer on June 1st. This mental illness is a thing that's just running rampant on Twitter right now, right? But it's Twitter. What do you expect? Netflix released the Stranger Things documentary, the making and behind the scenes of Season 5. And boy, oh boy, not a great look on a PR level for the Duffer Brothers or any of the other writers of Stranger Things. Fans went through and noticed some really odd things that they posted on Twitter, including what may or may not be the use of ChatGPT for story writing. It just never ends, the stupidity with this shit. I'm beginning to think that the Duffer Brothers are like fucking trolling everyone. This entire documentary was just one piece of rage bait, scene after scene after scene, through this 2-hour runtime that the documentary had. At this point, how the fuck can you be surprised? How can you? I'm a fan of behind the scenes looks into how something is made. I'm a big movie geek. I love seeing how the cookie's made, alright? Anything from the choreography of fight scenes to the previs that stunt people shoot for that, to concept art of certain creatures and effects, makeup, special effects, VFX, the line readings, how the actors read the lines when they first get the scripts, and they're all sitting there for hours and hours and hours reading this 200-page script. I find it all fascinating as someone who wants to get into filmmaking too. But you know what, man? More than anything, I like seeing the actors communicate with each other on set. I like seeing how they are. I like seeing how emotional they get towards the end of shooting and all that stuff. It was really nice to see that in this. Now, when it came to the line readings, some of the most obvious twists and oh shit moments, like Steve almost dying in the finale, even though anyone who with a functioning brain cell could know that was a fake out of the highest order. But you see their reactions to various stuff, and I'm gonna tell you, man, some of the lines that were read, the crew laughing, I got secondhand embarrassment watching some of this, because a lot of the dialogue is cringe this season, man, and we're gonna get to maybe why that is the case. Dude, there were actors on set, like Robin's actress, who were kind of confused because there are things that this story has established from prior seasons that the Duffer Brothers seem to have forgotten about, and they had to remind themselves and directors what was going on. It's almost as if the Duffer Brothers forgot literally fucking everything. And you know why that is, man? It's revealed early on that they didn't know what they were doing. The finale was not written prior to filming. They were writing the finale while filming. Now, a lot of people were freaking out about this. This is actually not that uncommon. Many directors actually do this. Nicholas Winding Refn, literally straight up, while making films like Neon Demon, is rewriting the script as he's filming. Rewriting the endings and all that, right? So it's not really that uncommon to have an unfinished story. But the Duffer Brothers didn't even have that much of a story to begin with. They had an idea of something they wanted to do, but they were constantly bickering and arguing among themselves what was good. And with them, it's a bit different because they have a massive budget, a massive crew with time constraints and pressure by Netflix. It's a completely different situation. All the stakes are on the line for this, and they still didn't know how to end this shit. They had no idea how to end a culmination event. It was very clear. And look, it's hard. It is hard to wrap up everything, get all the payoffs done right, tie up all the lore, all the little plot holes and all. It's very hard to do that. But they had such a simplistic idea of what they wanted to do that it makes sense why they fucking in many ways failed to do it. And look, if you're one of the people who liked the finale and thought it was great, then fine. But you have to admit, if you're objective, that this is nowhere close to being the best version of this finale that they could have given us. Not even in the same hemisphere. The only thing the Duffer Brothers knew, the only idea that they had was Eleven has to off herself at the end. That's it. That's she needs to do a self-sacrifice. And even with that, they were arguing whether or not she's dead or not. They really were. And you could see some of the writers in the back in the same room cringing and kind of like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. And they're like bickering among each other. What does it mean for Eleven to die? And they're bickering on the symbolism behind it. But it's very clear that they themselves had an idea of what this is what's supposed to happen. Every single show ends with a main character dying. You know, most of these shows end with the main character self-sacrificing. Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad, blah, blah, blah. Some kind of sacrifice is done with the main character, you know? Because they had no script, and this is such a huge production, there were many teams that had no idea what the fuck to do. When making the layer and the concept designs for half the sets, a lot of these guys are saying, in the documentary, we don't have a script yet, and we don't know where we're going, so we're going to just go off of the whims of whatever we hear during meetings, and we're going to wing it. That's literally what happened. This caused rushed work on VFX, rushed work, to be honest, on the final fight. You could see some of the green screen and the CGI was really terrible in that. Set design and the final battle concepts and script itself, all fucking rushed to death. And this is perfectly indicated in the final battle that made me want to off myself with a butter knife. The Mind Flayer has a form. His original form is a smoke form, with particles that he can use to possess people, and just possess and control the hive mind. The Duffer Brothers opted to not use that, even though it's canonically what's supposed to be the Mind Flayer. What did they do? They decided to go with the Kaiju form that can be hurt easily by fire and bullets. Why? Because they said, we need a big monster for the kids to fight. That's how these things go. We just need a big monster. That's it. That's the... If you want to ask about what was the thought process going into this battle in the Mind Flayer specifically, this is the big bad of the entire show, right? Their only thought to the Mind Flayer was, we need a big monster for them to fight. That's it. And there were questions, okay, how would the kids do against this creature? Let's say it's chasing them. We need to have a chase scene. The Duffer Brothers said, and they knew it, they were like, this thing, the size of this thing, it could easily outrun these kids and kill them. Like, that's what's going to happen. But did they solve for that? No. No. They're still able to outmaneuver it and get to the crevice point in time where they can flank it somehow. I don't know how fast they got up there, but yeah. No thought was actually given to the Mind Flayer. That's what this indicated to me. It was all on Vecna getting his ass whooped by 11 again, despite being at his most powerful form ever. Makes no fucking sense. One of the writers in the team said, we need to have Demogorgons there. We need to have an army of Demodogs, Demogorgons, Demobats there. It's something that needs to happen. And the Duffer Brothers even agree at first. They're like, yes, I agree. And then one of the writers, she says, I'm a little concerned with demo fatigue. Are you low IQ as fuck? You're concerned with demo fatigue. You're concerned with the audience being tired of Demogorgons. I understand you had Demogorgons just a couple of episodes ago and you don't want to repeat it. Do you know how many creatures there are? And the Duffer Brothers agreed with her as well. It's like the Duffer Brothers were like literally playing it safe in all realms. They're like, yeah, I can definitely see that. Maybe we just don't have Demogorgons or anything like that. You know, we'll just say Vecna forgot. Vecna didn't expect them to be in Dimension X so fast. You have Demobats, Demodogs. Not to mention, this is Dimension X, the home to a bunch of creatures, not just those. You could just introduce another form of creature at the end. Oh, but it would be adding too many things that are new. You're already trying to add things that are new to keep it fresh. Why not have introduced a creature prior in the finale? It just doesn't make sense. The Duffer Brothers didn't care about lore or power scaling or what's canonically logical. They were like, what's gonna be fun and new and exciting? Who cares about the lore and the power scaling? We just need a big-ass monster for them to fight. Okay? And we need to have Vecna and 11 face off because that's how it's supposed to happen. Fucking army. Even though, logically, the Vecna would have an army of Demodogs waiting! Why no deaths? Well, this is also answered in the documentary. The Duffer Brothers say, we're not a show that's about killing people. No. This is a fun kid show at the end of the day. That's what we're getting back to. Cop out. It's not about killing people. We want to maintain the fun. If we were to kill somebody or kill somebodies, it would betray that. I don't know if we've been watching the same show, but this is a show where Barb gets brutally killed while Nancy's getting banged. Okay? This is a dark, violent, and gruesome show where a bunch of people become possessed and turn into slabs of meat that form into one big monster. They turn into slabs of gore and meat. Okay? One of them is an innocent old lady. Alright? Kali gets killed. Oh, is that making things more fun? Oh, because we don't know her, but we know these other characters. So you're literally admitting that she was expandable because you knew no one cared about her. You're only killing people that the audience doesn't care about. This just rings to me as you have no balls. You have no balls. I don't want to hear anyone say, oh, but the plot wouldn't be serviced if there was a death. The plot would be serviced in the sense that it would make fucking sense for somebody to die against the Mind Flayer. Okay? Or for Vecna to body somebody. Why did Vecna let Will live at the end of episode 7? Can someone answer me this? Sorry, episode 4. Can somebody answer me this? When he grabs Will like this, he just lets him go and walks off. Why? You know this dude can hijack the hive mind. You've seen it. You literally confronted him about it. Just admit you really leaned into the plot armor because you didn't want to kill anyone off because you were scared to piss people off, and you ended up doing just that. And then people caught the fact that there's multiple ChatGPT tabs open, signaling at the fact that maybe the Duffer Brothers were reliant on ChatGPT AI to write a lot of the things there. Now, let's be grown-ups here. The common rebuttal to this, which, you know, you can agree with, is this doesn't mean they use ChatGPT to write their script, for fuck's sake. Come on now. You could be using ChatGPT for a number of things while on the job. Find information about sets or whatever, or just to help you to do something. You know, you could use ChatGPT for so many different things. It just doesn't have to be just creative. People on Reddit notice something. Dialogue sequences with characters like Dustin and Robin, who are doing a lot of exposition, explaining something. The way they talk is very similar to how ChatGPT talks. It's not just this, it's this. If you guys know, if you've used ChatGPT long enough, you start to realize ChatGPT speaks in a very specific way that's common. It's common throughout everything. No matter how much you train it, it speaks in a very specific way. For example, the new Monarch TV show, season 2, they had a little summary of the new monster in Monarch, which I'm going to make a whole video about. Titan X isn't just a monster. It's a living cataclysm. Human beings don't speak like this. AI does this all the fucking time. It isn't just this. It's this. Constantly! It's a pattern. Any video you've seen on YouTube, there's tons of people making video essays about AI and how to notice AI writing. This is the common factor. And a lot of that was seen in the dialogue sequences where you had to do exposition. I wouldn't be surprised if ChatGPT was used in a lot of those sequences. And to basically help come up with the final battle. But ChatGPT also is dumb as fuck and forgets a lot of things. So it makes sense how the Duffer Brothers forgot all these logical plot points. All these inconsistencies that happened. It would make sense. Now, there were some notes on the board that indicated an alternate ending, which pretty much doesn't change that much. It's not that much better of an ending, but Hopper knew about Eleven's plan. He knew from Kali. Kali told him, and he basically came to terms with it. The military general, who no one cares about, the dumbest, worst subplot of all time, well, she dies or the entire military gets eradicated before the final act. So I would have liked that because, I'm going to be honest, Linda Hamilton's character, this general, and everything about her, the military, establishing the base in the Upside Down, is fucking stupid and is the most useless plotline, the most useless character in the show, and probably the most useless character in 2025 out of anything I've seen. Period, point blank. Useless. And you know how I knew they didn't even care about her? You know how I knew that they just didn't know what to do with her? They just added her in for the fuck of it. Is because in the documentary, they give so much time, they give a lot of time to everyone, even randoms, right? That we don't even remember on the set, part of the crew. They don't really give an interview or do that much with Linda Hamilton in the show. And you think they would. This is an iconic actress. She's been a part of many iconic IPs, for fuck's sake. Terminator, for God's sake. They don't even bother with her in the documentary, which shows me they didn't care about Linda Hamilton's character. They just put her in because, oh, nostalgia. I was going to make a whole video about this dumb character and how useless she is, but to be honest, I don't even want to. I can't. I don't want to speak or even look at this anymore. And Will, another thing that didn't get a lot of time in the documentary at all was Will's coming out scene. There is emphasis put on Will's character, but I would have thought, and I was very surprised, I thought they would have done a whole little spiel about the importance of him coming out as gay in front of his friends and how important that was to his character. They don't really in the documentary at all. You know why? In my opinion, I think the Duffer Brothers and even them knew that this scene wasn't that good. You know why? Because they had to reshoot this scene like 12 to 20 times. And apparently this actor self-directed. They allowed him to self-direct a lot of his own scenes. And that coupled with his limited acting range, I'm going to be honest, I don't think he's that good of an actor. And the fact that a lot of the things in the scene, including all the characters that were there that shouldn't have been, don't make sense. I think they knew this scene was just shit. Like, why would you go in on the scene in the documentary when you know there's just... I feel like someone told them, don't add too much there because there's just nothing to show. And then the whole thing about Holly. There's a big emphasis on Holly in the documentary, and the Duffer Brothers saying, we wanted to pass the torch and show the next generation of kids playing D&D and like a new crew in many ways. I'm going to be honest. And I like this actress because she was in Evil Dead Rise. And I thought she was great there. I feel really bad for her. There's a lot of PDF files hunting this chick down. I don't know if you've seen the stuff on Twitter. There are people who use the Grok AI, Elon's AI on X, which is pathetic. They were using it to take off her clothes on Twitter. People are making freaking weird edits of this chick. All I'm going to say is, bro, I feel really bad for this chick. There's a lot of weirdos out there. But as much as I like the actress and respect the actress, too much screen time dedicated to this shit. Why are you dedicating so much screen time to Holly and not your OGs? And if you are doing this passing of the torch thing to this new group of kids, which, by the way, it makes no sense to me, but we're going to get to that. If you are going to do that, why are you still ballsless with keeping all your OG crew alive? You can't kill any one of them off, even though you're doing this. You're trying to satisfy two different things. And by the way, this whole passing of the torch nonsense, this isn't the Avengers. This isn't, oh, a new team of young Avengers to take care of the world. This isn't that. This isn't about that. No, this is about the characters you've established, the ones that we've pretty much some of us grown up with in the last 10 years, right? Why are you just like abandoning a lot of them for this? Like, Lucas had nothing to do in this season. In fact, what did he fucking even do besides save Max in the hospital? Like, his entire character is just tied to Max. There's so many characters you could have fleshed out way more, and you didn't. Even Steve, I feel like, could have had a lot more to do, to be honest, in this final season. All good, man. It's a shit show. That's what it is. The Duffer Brothers have exposed themselves once again. I didn't want to listen. I said I was done making Stranger Things videos, but man, they just keep giving me opportunities to talk shit. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.